Everyone, and welcome to the Rules of Thumb podcast with Dr. G. I'm your host, Nick Bollenbo, and I write a weekly newsletter on all things musculoskeletal health and longevity. That means fewer aches and pains and a better knowledge of what to actually do when they inevitably rear their ugly head. In this podcast, I will read to you my article of the week so that you can listen to it on the go. If video is more your thing, welcome to those of you watching on my YouTube channel. And as always, the original article with its associated images will be linked in the show notes below. So without further ado, let's get into this week's article titled, How to See a Specialist in 2025, an insider's guide to making your visit count. Let's talk about something that drives everyone nuts. You wait 3 months to see a specialist, finally get in the door, and then feel completely rushed and unprepared. Maybe you forgot to mention that crucial symptom, or you leave with more questions than answers. I get it. Our current medical system is a far cry from being user-friendly. But after seeing thousands of patients, I can tell you there are a few high-leverage ways to make these visits more valuable. As much as I'd like to just fix the system, I think we're a long way off. But what I can do is help you navigate our current one as expertly as possible. First tip I have is to think like a doctor before you see them. So here's your insider tip. Doctors are trained to think about symptoms in a very specific way. If you can organize your thoughts in the same pattern for your visit, you're already ahead of the game. Plus, you and the doctor will be speaking the same language once you arrive. Here's the exact framework that you use. First is onset, meaning when did it start? Was it sudden or was it gradual? The next is location. Where exactly is the problem? Does it move around? The next is duration. How long does it last? Is it constant or does it come and go? Characteristics, meaning what does it feel like? Is it sharp pain, dull, burning? The next is the aggravating factors. What makes it worse? And the next is relieving factors. What makes it better? And the final is treatments tried. What have you already attempted? Oftentimes we'll also ask about associated symptoms, meaning do you notice anything else unusual happening? Take a few minutes before your appointment to think through these categories. Trust me, your doctor will be impressed that you've organized your thoughts in this way, and this part of the visit will fly by, between more time for diagnosis and discussion of treatment options. The next is the paperwork problem. Look, nobody likes the paperwork. Duh. Not you, not me, not the front desk, but it's a necessary evil thank you to insurance requirements. And here's the hard truth. If you show up at your appointment time and still need to do the paperwork, you're essentially putting yourself at the back of the line. We all know those forms can take 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Meanwhile, the doctor will naturally move on to seeing other patients who are ready to go. This is a huge recipe for friction. You feel like you showed up on time. The staff gets frustrated to now have to work you in. It's no good all around. Pro tip, most offices now have ways to complete the paperwork online before your visit. Do it, even if it's annoying, even if you have to create yet another online account that you'll never use again. Your future self will thank you. The next is the image problem, and yes, it's still a problem in 2025. This one baffles my patients constantly. Yes, we are approaching 2025. Yes, we have self-driving cars and we carry supercomputers in our pockets, but no, different medical systems still don't talk to each other as well as you'd expect. So if you've had imaging done elsewhere, like in urgent care or an ER, by far the best thing that you could possibly do is to physically bring those images on a disc. Don't rely on promises that they'll be sent over, because they probably won't be. Or if they are, they'll arrive weeks after your appointment. I know what you're thinking, but they sent them. And I believe you. But I also know that about 80% of the time, they either don't arrive or they arrive in a format that we can't hold it. So then we're in the difficult situation of either needing to take new x-rays in the clinic, send you away for additional imaging, or reschedule a second appointment once we have all the information. If you bring the disc, it's immediately uploaded to your chart. I promise you it's worth the extra step. P.S. While bringing the radiology text report is definitely helpful, it's not sufficient for your care. Remember how we talked about before that bones break in different patterns, and those patterns determine your treatment options? Having your specialist see the actual images is critical to your health outcomes. The question conundrum. So here's a common scene in my office. We're wrapping up a really nice visit when a patient pulls out a notebook with a page or two of questions written out. I feel terrible, but I already know we won't get to all of them in a typical visit. At some point, we should probably get into the details of why this can't happen anymore. The golden age of medicine where I could sit, and answer these questions and work through them with each patient has definitely been eroded away by years of declining reimbursements from insurance and increasing regulatory requirements. It really is sad. But again, you and I can't immediately fix the system. We can make your appointment better. So instead, try this. Prepare 3 core questions in advance. Think hard about what you really need to know. What's keeping you up at night? What's your biggest concern? What must you walk away from this appointment understanding? These focused questions are much more likely to get thorough answers rather than a long list of smaller concerns. Plus, chances are those smaller one-off questions that you would have filled a page with are going to be answered throughout the natural course of the appointment. So some takeaways from today. Organize your symptoms using the doctor's framework I discussed above, meaning the onset, location, duration, etc., before your visit to make the most of your limited time. Always do paperwork in advance and bring imaging on a physical disc, as medical records still don't communicate as well as we would like in 2025. And the last is to focus on 3 to 5 high-impact questions rather than trying to cover everything, as quality definitely beats quantity in specialist visits. Maybe one day we will look back at our current system and laugh about how clunky it was. I really can only hope. But until that magical day arrives, these strategies will help you get the most out of your specialist visit. Think like a doctor before you arrive. Handle the paperwork early. Bring your images and focus those questions. Hey, you found this helpful? Share it with that friend who's been waiting 4 months to see a specialist. They'll thank you later. Remember, this isn't about gaming the system. It's about making sure that you get the care that you need in a system that isn't always set up to make that easy. Thanks for being here today. See you next time.